Top 5 Richest People in History. The wealth for the following people has been adjusted for inflation. So, the following list is of the wealthiest historical figures and how much they would be worth in today's dollars. Before we get started, make sure that you subscribe and click on the bell. That way, you're notified when we post a new video. Now, on to the 5th richest person in history. Number 5. Andrew Carnegie. $310 billion. Andrew Carnegie was born in the 19th century and made his money in the steel business. Carnegie might not be the wealthiest person ever, but there's a good chance that he was the most generous. He ended up giving away around 90% of his wealth and donated heavily to local libraries in support of world peace, education, and for scientific research. This earned him the reputation as the patron saint of libraries. Despite his extravagant wealth, Carnegie was actually born in poverty in Ireland, and when he was a child, his whole family lived in one room. When he moved to the USA, he was able to work, save, invest, and become the rags to riches success story America loves. Number 4. Jakob Fugger. $400 billion. A relatively unknown man, Jakob Fugger is still one of the wealthiest people to ever live. Fugger was born in what is now Germany in 1459 and inherited his family's business. The business really took off, and Fugger was able to trade many things around Europe and Asia, primarily materials through Italy. Fugger used his wealth to influence politics and religion, and was instrumental in the selection of the Holy Roman Emperor. Fugger didn't just build businesses, though. He also built the Fuggerhäuser, where he lived with his family. Some of his descendants still live there today, over 500 years later. Number 3. Mansa Musa. $415 billion. There are a few question marks around Mansa Musa. We don't actually know when he was born or how wealthy he was. Time magazine tried to calculate it, but they've since said it's impossible. Other sources estimate that he was worth around $415 billion. Either way, he's still richer than most people could ever dream of becoming. Mansa Musa lived in Mali, an Islamic Western African state, probably between 1280 to 1337 AD. During his reign, Mali became the world's largest producer of gold and was the center of culture, science, art, and literature. Mansa Musa built the largest collection of books since the Library of Alexandria. Mansa Musa also spent a lot of money. When he met with the Sultan of Egypt, Mansa Musa and his court gave away and spent so much gold that the value of it decreased and didn't recover for 12 years. Number 2. John D. Rockefeller. $418 billion. John D. Rockefeller lived in the 19th and 20th centuries, and he was a very, very rich man. He founded and ran the Standard Oil Company for 27 years, just as usage of kerosene and gasoline started to increase at an unprecedented rate. At the height of his power, Rockefeller owned 90% of the oil market in America. This has made him the wealthiest American in history and the richest person in modern history. He was interested in religion and philanthropy and donated around $500 million to charity in his life, including a sanitary charity that was able to eradicate hookworm in the southern USA. Before we move on to the richest man in history, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up and share it with a friend. It really does help out the video and we appreciate it. Now, on to the richest person in history. Number 1. Augustus Caesar. $4.6 trillion. Meet Augustus Caesar, the first Roman emperor. Caesar ruled over a huge part of Europe for several years and managed to do so in a very prosperous way. This guy was so influential that he has an entire month named after him. That's right, without Augustus Caesar, we wouldn't have the month of August. While he was emperor, Caesar reformed taxation, established an army, created the police and fire services for Rome, and developed a network of roads that are still used all around Europe today. And did we mention that he did all of this 2,000 years ago? Augustus certainly used his wealth, power, and influence to buy himself a legacy. So, there you have it. The wealthiest historical figures and how much they would be worth in today's dollars. Most people want to be able to buy fancy cars or luxury cruises, but these individuals can buy the whole company. What would you do if you had that much wealth? Comment down below and let us know. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.